drunken revelry, climaxed with a complete loss of all my faculties and power of rational mind. The existence of my tender years, of youthful erudition, and a promise of finer things in life, was barely entertained by my now Spartan surroundings as I slept. Though I did try to hold fast to the formalities of my upbringing, I had nary $1 left to my name, and was trying my landlord's patience. Little did I know that tonight would bring more than the prosaic bar fight or blackguard errand for a publican. Tonight would test my constitution and fortitude tenfold. I'm about to find out that life doesn't stand still for long.
Mr. Rath, get up, put your revolver.
Lord, what is the matter? It sounds like bedlam out there. Are we under attack? I'll be down in just a moment, Mr. Trask.
Okay, so this is Half Rats, A Fever Dream. Played it way back. It's not that old for a Half-Life mod. It's either mid 2010s or late 2000s, I think. One second. No DC. Okay, well, that's weird. That'll stay. So it is a Half-Life mod that takes place in the 1800s West. And you play as the guy named Half Rats. Why? I don't know. It's a weird name, but it's also the name that the lead developer goes by. So, and he also voices him, and I'm pretty sure the guy in real life is a big Western aficionado, one of those people. And as you can see by how he's pulling that revolver lever back and it's not matching up, it's because it's just a flat reskin of the basic Half-Life 1 revolver, which has its lever down there the thumb should be. So it's what you would call a total conversion, where you take every asset in the game and you completely redo it, and you also redo or make completely new maps, etc. So most of the best mods out there for Half-Life end up being total conversions like this.
There you are. There's an awful tumult outside. Reports gunfire, the whole lot. And a horse rail just now collided with Mrs. Peterson's row house. A fellow just passed by white as a sheet and told me to fly while I can. I'm not sure if we're at war or suffering cause wrath, but like hell am I leaving my shop.
Well, old man, if you're up for a fight, get behind that counter and hand me anything useful. I'll stand at the ready and fire at anyone who asks for it.
And, like every Half-Life mod, well, most of them, Cry of Fear, and I think one or two others don't count because they're on a different engine. The flashlight is the worst in any video game ever.
Those aren't soldiers. What in God's name are those?
And here we made our first enemies, the teddy bears.
My God, what are these things? God, these things never end. Mr. Rath, dig rid of the shit and get the timbers about the windows and door. With all due haste.
Mr. Trask, you're in my debt for this one. Try to draw them off, whatever the hell they may be.
So as you can probably tell, everything's just a reskin, like I was saying. Those are just the normal Half-Life zombies, reskin to be these fucking awesome teddy bear zombies. And those other things are Vortigaunts reskinned to just be flesh creatures of some sort. And I think I'm in the geometry. That's wonderful. So we gotta do the classic. It's too close when I pressed E to activate that. There we go.
Do you see that stain upon the floor? Break the floorboards there. You'll find an old tunnel that escaped slaves once used. It leads to the sewers. You can possibly use it to evade the perils outside and find help. Pick up anything useful you can carry as well. I'll be fine here. The board should hold fast. And Mr. Rats, if you do this for me, I'll forget the matter of your being late in your rent. Godspeed.
If you're seriously suggesting I risk life and limb to go out again, well, if I've got enough whiskey, I've got the smack jack. This has all just served to pique my curiosity. I'm willing to see what else the devil has in his congregation.
I must say I'm a bit more than
And
vexed,
Mr. Trask,
Rats.
try and keep yourself whole while I'm out. This seems a trifle more perilous than last year's July. But at any rate, I will return with help. Fare thee well.
So, something I didn't comment on is that all that background noise is supposed to be distant gunshots, cannons going off, horses dying, that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure that's a soft lock. If you don't have enough health and you die there, that you can't get down because there's no more health pickups.
Rats and hellbound.
So the way you're supposed to do this section, I'm pretty sure, is you are supposed to ride the boat. Or you can just completely mess it up. Alright, well. Remember this section getting me trouble when I played it back in the day. Because you are supposed to play it like this. You can go along the edge, but it's not, you know, what the modder actually wants you to do. Because something like this is actually fairly neat. But these guys are a pain in the ass if you can't get headshots off.
I suppose these demons wouldn't mind the smell, would they?
Pretty sure it's a gibbon. Yep.
Oh, how lovely. I'll be departing shortly.
Do we actually jump down there? Nope. Yep, that's what I thought. Hound eyes turn to these flesh pigs. Quite disgusting as well. You don't see... I don't know, there's something about this, and also when I play They Hunger for you
I
guys to
don't vest much
watch.
hope in that bridge, if that's what you wish to call it.
I think that Ichiosaur is completely unchanged, but you don't see games or enemy design like that anymore. Which is why you'll oftentimes see me praise mods like this so high, because you just can't get anything like. Even with something like Dead Space 1's Necromorphs, those are about as unique as you see AAA games get. Resident Evil's monsters are fairly ununique if you take 5 minutes to look into any Japanese horror, period. I think Silent Hill is about as unique as a AAA game will ever get, you know, the Silent Hill franchise as far as their creature design goes. And then you have the rare stuff, like the zombie from Half-Life 1 and 2 is fairly unique for its time, and then the I don't know what are they called, the main monsters from the Resistance games, the Chimera. They're unique, especially for the time, and especially in Resistance 3, where they're all supposed to be these different breeds of the same alien race, or same human-alien hybrids. You just don't get stuff like that much anymore. I'm pretty sure you could cheese this. Nope, 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 nope. Does this have opposing force ropes? Nope. Oh no, Half-Life physics. Yep. Maybe he's changed a little bit, but he doesn't really look changed. Maybe his ribs are exposed or something, or as in base Half-Life, he's completely green, that kind of thing. Or his flesh looks more green.
It's a long ways down.
The absolute slipperiness of Half-Life never fails to amaze me. You're going to see me quick save often because unlike actual Half-Life, modded games are usually fairly unforgiving because they're...
You're giving me quite the licking.
Hold on.
Ah, that smarts.
Like, you don't know if you could really see, but the head crabs are tiny gorillas, which is fairly creative and very terrifying, to say the least. Game wants us to head west because there's a way out, but I say we head east. Let's see if there anything extra. Don't think there is. I think it was just dead end. I completely forgot what I was talking about.
Ah, sweet, merciful salvation! Fresh air again. Perhaps I'll find some help here. Plenty of signs of life so far, just no life attending them. Perhaps luck will change at the good old Dwyer Stoveworks.
Good, for my own ears, turn the game down quite a bit. Something you'll notice with the sound design, and this is just a problem with Half-Life 1's Gold Source engine, is everything is an object in the world. So whenever there's a scripted sequence, like in the intro, where Half-Rats was speaking, you could very clearly tell it was an invisible object placed in the air that the camera flows over, because by the time the camera starts to pan right, it goes solely over to the left ear, because it's a physical object in the world, and actual to-the-screen effects are completely reserved for music, and pretty much music only. I can't really think anything else in the original Half-Life that got away with that, changing to its own unique soundtrack, especially because that was when CD music was becoming a brand new thing for computer games to take advantage of. And I'm pretty sure this is going to have the assassin replacement, which are just the female assassins, but I'm pretty sure their rib cages are open. The guy did not get very creative. But even on easy, these bitches hit like a truck. Yep, they're wearing little they're like gimps, I guess. That's something very unique about this mod, and not a lot of other mods, but this one, actually, yeah, quite a few mods do this, where I'm given Half-Life 1's revolver as my main weapon, and then I have a bayonet as a melee, as the crowbar replacement. But having the revolver be my primary weapon means, one, I can headshot enemies, which is usually an insta-kill, and two, this thing does an insane amount of damage, because it's supposed to have a very rare set of ammo in the game. It's supposed to be, like a revolver and other FPS, single-player FPS, where it's supposed to not be your primary weapon, but do a shit ton of damage, because it only has 6 rounds in the chamber, or in the cylinder. It seems we went the wrong way. Okay. Something like this took me a second to figure out, because an object like that is not normally movable in normal Half-Life. And it wasn't pre-established at... Ooh, I gotta save. Yep, this is gonna suck.
Listen, I don't wish to break the fourth wall. In fact, I hate it. But as a matter of prudence, I feel it necessary to suggest that you be goddamn careful with me from now on.
So now we gotta be extra careful, because using Half-Life Assassins as an enemy very early on, with no explosive weaponry or high rate of fire weapons, is kind of a dick move, to say the least. Okay, well, that could just kill you too. I guess I got hit with a physics object. That's probably what happened.
I don't wish to break the fourth wall. In fact, I hate it. But as a matter of prudence, I feel it necessary to suggest that you be goddamn careful with me from now on. Now that's smarts.
Half-Life loves its flashing lights. Oh, conveyor belt section. Yep, I completely failed that. 'Cause shit like this sucks with flashing lights all the time. Okay, well, wish I could see literally anything, but... There we go. And I had no momentum. Good game, good game. I think something like that right there is both a good and bad example of well-done game design, because that is both simultaneously giving a very clear path forward, while also expecting the player to know that walking on a surface like that that's slanted won't immediately push them off, or make them slide off, like it will in other video games. There is a very, very good reason why some games tutorialize the player, albeit 99% of them do it way too much. Also, that's a rat. Seems we're in Detroit. What is it, 1883, roughly, I'd say. Okay. Works out. Good, none of these doors work. That's another thing about the original Half-Life is very few things you actually press a button on to use like you do in every other video game. You don't, press a button to open a door, etc. You have to physically push yourself into it, because that was a big thing when Quake came out. Quake went away from Doom's press a button to activate something to actually you would be physically touching it by slamming your entire body into a door at 20 miles an hour. Which at the time, yeah, I could see it, but now, no. Makes no sense. And some Half-Life mods try to get away from that, but most of the time it's a lot of unnecessary excess programming per item in the game, or I guess you'd say per door, or other activatable object. Like, for instance, say just putting a door down that you have to program to rotate on a certain axis that you can actually just steal from the main Half-Life game and just reuse that code over and over. You'd have to then program into yourself, okay, the player needs to be able to actually press a button, it needs to be an activatable object, it needs to be on a timer, it needs to blah 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 blah, which takes an insane amount of time and effort for ultimately no real payoff if the person who's played it has played Half-Life before. Now the Ichthyosaurs do look kind of changed. Yeah, they're fairly changed. I think you pronounce it Ichthyosaur. Ichthyosaur, something like that.
I must have come out at the old Dwyer residence. If no credence attended the rumors regarding this property before, I can be sure it does now. Abandoned for a year's time.
I'm half rats and
Let's see who's home. Damn, I hate mazes.
That's something funny, is you could tell that the in-game sound effect for that voice line was super low quality, even though it was probably recorded at the exact same time as that other player voice line we heard, because the actual files, because what they did there is they replaced the HEV suit sound files. So I picked up those bottles of whiskey, which turn into armor, which is fairly funny. The whole thing is that Half-Rats is a alcoholic and a drunk, so it just bolsters him up. But anyways, those use MP3s. So those were on the disc, and they were fairly low size, so instead of reading the MP3 from the disc, which was reserved for music, you could transfer it to the computer, and the processor back in the day would have enough power to play that. So it could be full quality for, at the time, which is probably 128 kilobytes per second. Meanwhile, the in-map sound effects have to be extremely low quality, because they have to be low enough that the CPU doesn't fucking fry trying to load it back in the day. And due to that, when you make a mod for Half-Life now, unless you're using an expanded version of the engine like Zash, which Paranoia or Cry of Fear uses, it has to be converted down to these much lower quality sound effects. So, fun thing I remember about this is invisible walls in this maze, which if this was done on a better version of the engine or a better, its own game, you'd probably be able to see through, and it'd be like a less dense part instead of this. This is plain evil and bad, because what's going to happen on your first time is you're just going to get shot and you're not going to know what, because it all looks the same, and that's just not how the world works. Can make for a good jump scare, though, like that. Oh, no, I need this. Actually, for certain, these guys were just spawned in. I don't think there's any more. And that's one other thing about a very interesting quirk about the Half-Life engine is that because it's based on Quake's engine, you can't just have a monster spawn in, even though you would say, hey, I've seen that 100 times in Quake and Half-Life. The monsters have to be rendered with the map when the map opens, and then you can teleport them in, but all monsters on the map have to be somewhere at some point at some time already in the game. They're usually placed way far off screen in a little black box the player can't access, but that is an interesting quirk that it's expanded on and fixed around the time of Quake 2, I believe, which would have been a year or two's time after Half-Life. Now we have our first bullet enemies. Nope. I thought these were someone else. These are still assassins. Probably gonna tear my shit up, because, yeah, especially putting assassins, they're invisible like that, and they're hit scan, and they can do insane damage instantly. That is just straight up 100% bad game design. No way, no ifs, and or buts. Never do that to your player. That's 100% wholly unfair.
I might be a bit inebriated.
Ooh, giddy up, boy. I wonder if it's dead.
I really wonder. Half-Life's cockroaches not working. For the time, probably. Well, let me think. Give me. Well, no, I say for the time. I'm thinking that this mod came out in '98. Did not. It was by. But if this was released around the time Half-Life did, that would have been one of the most realistic depictions of gore, period, in a video game. And actually see if we can hear it. You can hear a piano playing. The map is actually spoiling something that happens later when we get inside that mansion. Oh, and that's something that's annoying, is that dead bodies still have their full hitboxes. Either entirely the entire time, or they usually are supposed to go away. Well, that's a good funny glitch, is if you go down to a dead body and hold a left click with the crowbar, that happens. You can just, yep, at an infinite speed.
That smarts.
There he is. We should see our next enemy within this mansion. And if it's the one I'm almost on. Yep, I'm only on 3 bullets. Fuck.
Damn it, I've run dry.
This is bad.
Oh, this calls for
Time to clear to the top. Who or what the hell is banging out that awful tune? Either way, I'm about to find out.
for you.
This is gonna be. I'm gonna have to do God mode for this. This is not something, especially after that maze. The assassins in Half-Life are used where they're used because it's a very vital plot point. But also, there's arenas built for it, and Half-Life also gives you enough ammo to constantly deal with this stuff. Which means that up to this point, what this mod developers were expecting me to do was essentially fight almost everything solely with the bayonet, and fight just these guys and the Vortigaunts. Well, one of them ended up killing themselves, so that's good. With the Colt revolver, which is, to be frank, bullshit.
I'm half rat.
Half-Life's melee is not good. Not by any reach of the imagination. Like, I can't even select that gun if I wanted to, but we're gonna disable God mode, and we're gonna save again.
I declare to the toxin, who or what the hell is banging out that awful tune? Either way, I'm about to find out.
So we should see another one of my favorite enemy designs, is I'm pretty sure these are the jesters or puppets. I don't remember exactly how they're called in-game. Unless I'm thinking about the sequel to this mod. Maybe I am. Yeah, usually enemies disappear like that very quickly. I don't know why that one in the maze didn't. That's a very big guy that's very dead. Pretty sure those replace the alien grunts, which are the ones in armor that shoot the bees at you.
Guess what happened here? These unfortunates must have been mutilated hours hence. Must have been the ones who lit the gas.
Fairly certain this is part of Blue Shift or Opposing Force. Like, that model's in one of the Half-Life games. It's a funny gun made out of the exact same stuff you'd make an actual. So what that is that's not a model that's made somewhere else and put into the game, like say that NPC or that painting or this weapon. What that guy did was he went into the map maker and used the same stuff he'd make the walls and floors out of and made this gun. So it's made out of meshes, or I guess you'd call it a mesh. It's made out of the same thing that the rest of the map is. I don't know the specifics of what you'd call it in World Hammer. But also, world's biggest pool cues shoved straight up this man's ass.
Might be a bit inebriated.
I have to go upstairs. Does toilet work? Nope. Sink? Nope. That's a disappointment.
Whoa, bareback!
Jesus.
Damn it, man. That's a fine way to get yourself shot. Tramping in here like a fusilier without so much as announcing yourself. But by God am I uncommon glad. I'm Barnaby. Private Barnaby. It's a damn pretty sight to see a man on his feet. I hope that wasn't you playing the piano. I was beginning to doubt my strength of mind.
Well, extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary introductions. And it's a pity the only one there to take my calling card was subject to harsh criticism on the part of his dismal playing. They call me Half-Rats, and you'll find we have mutual sentiments. You're the first living mortal I've yet seen tonight. I must ask that if you have any better idea than I regarding recent events, do speak up.
The way I see it, seems like Providence done took a long walk, chum. My entire company was dispatched, so we can't be expecting the army to deliver us. The powers of hell itself came upon us. Plenty of good men died, killed by no-right creatures in God's creation. Suffice it to say, I managed to escape with my skin and made my way to the outskirts of town. I came upon this place, and it seemed as good as any in this hell. It looked as if whatever took this poor lot had moved on. I was searching for the key to the cellar for victuals, and then you came along. Not long after that goddamn den downstairs played up. I found the key there on the Davenport, by the way.
Excellent, but this all means that the situation is far worse than I had imagined. The cellar is precisely where I wish to go. With the dispensation of the army to consider, if we're going to have a ghost of a chance, we'll need to procure concessions and ammunition for the night. We simply won't make it long enough for federal forces to arrive otherwise. We'll then need to make our way back to a general store that I am intimately acquainted with. I left a friend there, alone. I resolved that our only recourse is to escape entirely. The train yard will surely have the means to deliver us. I hope that sits well with you. I was vainly hoping perhaps the army might have had some clue as to what these aberrations are and why they're here, you know. But it seems perdition has eclipsed providence and reason itself tonight.
Truer words ain't been spoken yet. I'll be your right hand. I've already bore witness to enough death tonight. Damned if I'll let another good fella go.
Right you are, soldier. We've a long night ahead of us yet.
I'm at your back. Did you see that?
So that is Private Barnaby. This game's replacement for security guard Barney from Half-Life. And there we go.
It appears the common hypothesis was incorrect. Look, man, there's still ice in the box. And just there, fresh meat upon the floor. How queer. I don't suppose it would keep for that long. I don't believe this place was as empty as it was made out to be. And just where does that portal in the wall lead?
Steal up and let's find out. The door was locked from without, so whoever those upstairs were, they were trying to keep something from getting out. And I'm keeping up with better of them.
Oh, Lord. Be wary. I believe there may be darker secrets down here. Diabolical operations with the preternatural must lay at the center of all of this. What does it all mean? Who was doing this?
Don't stray too far.
Come on, man. Whatever, he'll respawn if I need him next map. I hope. Maybe not. Well, this is where a major fault of this little thing called Half-Life's AI comes into play.
At your service, sir.
To watch them every step of the way, otherwise they'll get caught up on the littlest piece of geometry and go, nope, scripting broke. Guess I stand here forever now.
At your service, sir.
I'm not sure which is worse, all the tunnels or what has inhabited them. Up here's we're out in the country. I'm sure I'll know how to get back to the store now. I confess I'm not much more enlightened of the situation than I was previously. What was seen just entertained more questions. How you holding up after that, Barnaby?
I don't reckon I could go on. It's all too much and it just gets worse. I told you to steal up, I know. But there can't be no way of knowing where this ends or from where they'll come. This is hell, Mr. Rats. We are damned. How else could any of this be? My friends are all dead, the city's ablaze. Brimstone in the air. This must be a nightmare. I thought I had the stuff, Mr. Rats, but I'm losing my faculties. I never saw them form out of nothing like that.
Now listen here. This isn't hell until we've run out of ammunition. This isn't hell until we've run out of whiskey, and I'm not drunk enough for this to be but a mere nightmare. There's a way out of this. We're going to find it. We owe it to all those who died to press on. You enlisted for a reason. No matter the quantity you face, come hell or high water, and it turns out it's the former. You'll make it. We'll make it. After all you've been through, and some cheap illusionist trick performed by a lone imp is going to break you up? I was a surly lush, a drunken scoundrel before all of this. Every soul I knew hence has most assuredly had their mortal flame extinguished this very night. If I've come this far, you could go further yet. Now, I may not be an officer, but I'm ordering you to press on. For God, for your country, for your fallen brethren, Private Barnaby. You could very well be the last of them.
Well, I can only utter 2 words to that. Yes, sir. To hell with you. Doggin.
If you ever see me do this movement, that's an old speedrunning trick to get your B-hop momentum going up like this. And then jumping around like this and looking back and forth is bunny hopping. I'm not pressing W at all during this, just A and D in the mouse. So if you ever see me doing that and you're wondering why, it's a speed tricks.
That's for my chums.
That might be the world's loudest cricket sound effect. And here we get, unless there's other items to grab, our first chase sequence. I believe, unless... maybe it's the church. Maybe I'm on the wrong spot. Yes, this appears to be the wrong one. Never mind.
Scout ahead. I'm at your back. Damn those bastards. Those instruments of the devil. I recognize these fellas. All of them. Wait. What's that? Rimholt? It's me. I'm coming for you, Rimholt.
What? Barnaby, you silly ass! Who are you calling to? Get back here!
And that was one of the rare times you should ever see a cutscene used in Half-Life. You'll see them used a lot in mods. Usually modders don't know any better ways to get around it, because they don't want me seeing what he was looking at, because to us, he was looking at God knows what. He could actually be looking at Rimholt down there. But what are you going to do to stop me? You going to put an invisible wall? That's kind of stupid. You going to put shit in the way? It's also kind of stupid. What if I can manage to get a sneak at there's nothing down there? So sometimes you do need to take away control from the player like that. Very rarely should you. And also very rarely should you have the player do anything during a cutscene like that. Don't have the main character finish off the final boss in a cutscene. Let me press left click to fire the last round.
God, he's vanished? No, can't have gone far. My God, fancy what they've done to the church.
Could he have gone this way? Well, it doesn't look like it. So where did they go?
What is the hell's bells?
And that is the Gargantuan redone, and it looks awesome. And unfortunately, that's about as much as you see of it as soon as you fight it. Fight it, I should say. See it.
Poor Barnaby. Could he have still been alive? Not now. Damn me. And damn that beast. No, I have to get back to the store. I can't let anyone else down tonight. I have to put some more ground between myself and that thing.
Fun fact about cocaine toothache drops. Unless it states otherwise back in the day, those would have literally been just little pockets of raw cocaine. Because whatever it touches on your body, like say you snort it, etc., it instantly makes that spot numb. It's an extremely effective numbing agent, which was back in the day. That's an insanely good discovery, because you didn't have modern concoctions as actual medicine and shit and anesthesiacs. Here's the thing: if it can make your gums numb, it's because you're absorbing it through the tiny blood vessels near your teeth. So you're just constantly on coke if you have a toothache. And here's a somewhat prime... Wow, okay. Well, here's a somewhat prime example of poorly blocking the player. Why did that make me burn, What you should have is, like, instead have, I don't know, have, like, this store was selling oil, and the oil has spilled across the street, so there's a definitive line of undistinguishable fire going left to right, instead of having somewhere I could easily slip by and jump over. I'm sure you've seen in video games and absolutely hate.
It may not notice me yet. I have to keep quiet. This place is an utter disaster.
So this Gargantua is a good example of having an extremely scripted enemy. That's just a good example, because in the original Half-Life, yeah, you can kill it, but you have to kill it in a specific manner. You can also kill it through raw damage, but you don't have access to those kinds of tools at that point in the game, and when you do, you don't end up seeing the thing again. It's a one-and-done fight, because by the time it's done, the gimmick is over. Well, that's kind of terrifying, honestly. But I think it's actually, quite frankly, a good thing to have a completely scripted enemy like that you have to do certain tasks with to avoid or to draw to an area, etc. Something like that, or more freeform like Jeff and Half-Life Alyx, where it is scripted in that you can't kill it until a certain spot, but you can go around and you can distract it and manipulate Jeff to your own rules to get by him.
Oh, my, this simply won't do. Hold on, sir, I'll have you down in about a moment.
This is one of the stupidest points in a video game.
Whoops. So much for being quiet.
So dumb. And that, I'm gonna say 20% chance. Actually, I'm a bit more like 60% chance. That is just someone's Photoshop of the flower dog from The Thing. Okay, cool. Killed all the gorillas for me. Thank you. Having enemies like that in a place like this with a flashlight like this, it's a very bitch-made move, not gonna lie.
I need to get out of here quickly.
Jesus. You don't see the eyes on them normally. So this part of the map is kind of shitty from what I remember. Like, not very well done. Okay. I'm actually going to reload. I don't know what the health I can grab. So we have to get in the center. And we have to go through this coal factory.
Electric.
Coal plant.
Powerhouse. Sounds like the engine's running at least. Huh? What's that? No publican to cut me off. Think I've lost that beast for now. Probably thinks I'm still inside the inn. Well, in that case, I'll have a quick drink in Barnaby's memory. And the house.
What are you looking at?
Oh, there we are. Is that a key?
Have at me.
Let's see if it will open the powerhouse.
So this is funny. This is the HEV suit charger, but it's just a barrel of whiskey. So if I wasn't already at full armor, I would have been able to just get full armor.
Spoke too soon, I did. Now how am I going to do this?
Well, you got the moves like Jagger. The game is just still fucked up. Okay, where am I actually? I wonder where the door is. Which door? Could be any of the 30 that are on the map. But I know it has to be one of these, like 7. At least I remember it that way. And if it's not, I have no idea what I'm doing, and the game's completely lost me very quickly. This might also just be a case of the game's also legitimately bugged. I don't know. And it is a mod after all. So I can't go back. Go there or there. Can't go in there. Can't go in here. Nope. 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 And I tried those earlier, but now it works for some reason. Wonderful. Oh my god. Is it this one? Of course. There's always something you end up forgetting. And then again, Halfrat's made a comment that made it sound like the electricity is already on. I just need to go throw a switch. So whose fault is it on, me or the game's? And people could discuss it all day.
I believe I fractured something.
Back at Traska's. No idea what that said. Barely audible, and it's also at such a low bit rate.
Mr. Trask, it's me. Are you still alive? I fear that the army's been annihilated, Mr. Trask. And there are rather large things out here, and I do wish you would answer me soon. Since I'm being dogged, Mr. Trask. Jesus, I know he's in there. Alright, that tears it. I'm breaking in.
Then, if you don't want to rouse their attentions, you best keep it down, Mr. Rats.
Barnaby? Is that you? Thank what must be left of heaven that you're alive. If I wasn't so glad to see your face again, I'd kill you for certain this time. What were you on about leaving me out here to carry on like that? What happened to you? And where's Mr. Trask?
Yes, it's me, in the flesh. I must admit, I had quite a spell over me, but I'm all myself now. All I can recall of my recollection was that I went around the corner and dove into the brush near the church. I could have sworn I saw Rimholt in the wood. He was an acquaintance of mine, a fellow soldier who went missing before the first battle took place. He was an odd fellow. I seem to remember him carrying some sort of pendant near to his heart. He was plenty careful to keep it hidden most times, but I caught a gander once. Something about him always seemed off. But passing on, the last thing I knew, I took a knock to the head. Passing strange. Call it a miracle if you will, but I came to very near here and found my way to the only store that looked to be inhabited, and wriggled my way in between these boards. Ha! Which sure gave Mr. Trask a start. He's in the storeroom at the moment. I spoke to him regarding the trip. He seems reluctant, but I'm sure I made him see it our way. One thing is vexing me, though. I have this strange mark on me I didn't have before, and... there he is now.
I knew you'd pull through, Mr. Rats. Barnaby here saved my sanity. And yes, I have spoken about the plan and wholly agree. I'm terribly sorry about your being left out there, but hopefully you'll remit, for I know a thing or two regarding trains, and of a shortcut to the station, which we can avail ourselves of. I'm hot to go whenever both of you are. I understand something very large is hunting you, Mr. Rats.
Despite previous transgressions, it does warm my heart to see us all here together. You're full of pleasant surprises tonight. But we've dawdled long enough. We've got a train to catch, and I'm certain that thing's still at my heels. And Barnaby, what was that mark you were referring to earlier?
It's probably nothing. Really. Could be just a blaying I was too carried away to notice before.
We can proceed through the druggists. It's as if all hell has opened up.
I'm at your back.
If my father could have seen what we bore out tonight, he'd follow you too.
To hell with you. Did you see that?
All right, Mr. Rats, you take the lead.
I'll bear it.
I'll keep watch behind you.
Dogging. Any thoughts on what we may be dealing with?
I hope so. In earnest.
Do you think we'll see any other living folks tonight?
I couldn't venture a guess.
At your service, sir.
There had better be a damn good reason to leave. If my father could have seen what we bore out tonight, he'd follow you too.
That's for my chums. To hell with you.
Nearing the end of the game. Pretty much get this train secured, get on it right away, and fight the final boss.
When you signed up, did you ever expect to face such a hellish
sir.
juggernaut?
A military supply train. I'll be damned.
What luck! There it is. What a sight for sore eyes. Everything we need's on board. How quickly could you put this brute into locomotion?
Thankfully, it's already been warmed up. It shouldn't be long at all.
Half-Life's AI works best when it doesn't have to follow you and it can just do what it wants to.
Just in time. We've been expecting you. Open up!
Let's give them a right proper lick.
And I accidentally shot Barnaby.
At your service, sir. Scout ahead.
Just in time. We've been expecting you. Open up!
Let's give them a right proper lick.
So this is kind of boring.
All right, Mr. Rex. You take the... There had better be a damn good reason to leave you here.
Take the opportunity while there is the time to get some gear. I do think that we're just on a timer. Fairly certain, at least. Yep.
I just knew it would come to this. I'm ready for you now. Have at me.
Mr. Rex, all distracted. Hey, get out. No.
Barnaby! No! Stay back! Damn it, you jack fool! You'll pay for that, you fucking nightmare! Die already!
So drop this cannon. Distract him enough to get him to come this way.
stand another minute of this place. Are we ready to embark, Mr. Trask?
Yes, Mr. Rats, get aboard. Now.
Yeah. Poor Barnaby.
Mr. Trask, you impressed me greatly. It's a shame Barnaby isn't here. But you know, he saved us in the end. Do you think mankind will prevail? Or are we all damned to die? Is our destination even safe? I guess all of this was quite real. I suppose we'll never know why and from whence this came. But, sooner or later the shock will wear off, so will the liquor. And I'll admit that I'll be conscious for that. How are you faring?
Oh my, it would appear we have some rather unruly passengers.
Just dandy. It's alright, it's alright. I'll take care of these hangers on. Alright, you goddamn wretched hellspawn, you unprincipled, undead filth! I have had it with the whole goddamn lot of you. This is where you get off.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, come on. This is so goddamn slippery.
This is fun for you, sucker.
I might be a bit inebriated. What are you looking at?
There we go.
What? Jesus. What? It's daylight? I'm in a bed. Oh, merciful Providence. Oh, God. It must have been a dream. Ooh, Jesus, I'm never drinking again. I swear it. I swear it. Ow.
Very strange way to do
I
that.
seem to be suffering from dyspepsia.
Just very strange to give him just Half-Life Gibbs.
I'm half rats and hellbound.
What? What? Is this animal flesh? Oh, this is immense. Who's been up to this elaborate jape? Trask! Someone's plastered the store with meat. Probably the Hurstons. Trask? No, that was wishful thinking. The very walls and floor itself appear to be made of meat. I'm still dreaming. I must be. What is all this? I demand to know.
Welcome back, Mr. Rats. And you have my sincere congratulations. You seem to have suffered no vicissitudes regarding your performance last night. You have passed your trial and displayed a singular consistency and industry not seen in most. I believe we can now divulge the truth. This is my superior, who I will refer to as Mr. C. He and I go back ages, you know. I was the one who entreated my inferiors to break the final seal,
all at his behest, and for a less than modest price, I was happy to lead the very operation which brought hell to earth. No doubt you came across our gay little meeting place at the church. And did you find the accommodations at the Dwyer residence to your liking? Too bad about my little worker bees. But the ends justify the means. Today, the city. Tomorrow, the entire world. And in due time, you will share these same sentiments, Mr. Rats. I am sure of it. You have proven to be more than capable of handling matters, precisely as your lifestyle led me to believe you would be. And I'd like to take the opportunity to extend to you an offer of greater things serving at my side. But all this may be too much weight on your shoulders at the moment. For now I bid you adieu. I will be keeping you here for as long as necessary, and will be eagerly awaiting your decision. And to afford you one last courtesy, Mr. Rats, that mark upon Barnaby was merely our way of cataloging their numbers. Tell me you noticed he wasn't the only Barnaby in our midst.
Oh, shit.
Tired, Mr. Rats?
And that's the first Half-Rats mod. There's a planned trilogy. There was this one, and the second one. This one was called Half-Rats: A Fever Dream. The second one is called Half-Rats: Parasomnia, pretty sure. And it is insanely good. And the third one never ended up coming out, unfortunately. Even if a mod is terrible, it's always nice to have more mods.